The legend says it's a hoax, but the evidence tells a different story. Everyone thinks the Fouke monster is just a creature from a cult classic movie, a swamp-dwelling Bigfoot knockoff. They're wrong. The creature, the sightings, the terror they predate the film, emerging from the dense Arkansas woodlands in the early 1970s, leaving a trail of shattered windows, dead dogs, and lingering dread. This wasn't some campfire ghost story. The Fouke monster became a very real, very public phenomenon. It sparked a full-blown creature hunt, drawing in local law enforcement, intrepid reporters, and even a cryptozoologist or two. This wasn't a legend. It was a crisis unfolding in real time. Our investigation begins in Fouke, Arkansas, a small, unassuming town near the Texarkana border. The year is 1971. The quiet life of the community was about to be shattered, not by a natural disaster, but by something far more primal, something that stalked the edges of their known world. It began with the Ford family. Bobby and Elizabeth Ford lived in a secluded home, deep in the cypress swamps. On the night of May 1, 1971, their world changed. Their front porch became a stage for an encounter that would echo through cryptozoology for decades. Bobby Ford was inside reading when he heard a disturbance outside. He dismissed it at first, perhaps a stray animal. But the sounds grew louder, more aggressive. Something was tearing at their screen porch, something large, something powerful. He grabbed his rifle, stepped out, and saw it. A massive, hairy bipedal creature standing over 7 feet tall, covered in dark hair with glowing red eyes. It turned, let out a guttural roar, and vanished back into the swamp. The immediate aftermath was pure chaos. The creature wasn't done. Later that night, it returned. This time, it tried to force its way into the Ford's home. It ripped through the screens, leaving deep scratches on the wooden walls. The Fords fired shots, but the creature seemed impervious. The next day, news spread like wildfire. Local authorities, including Sheriff Leslie Missouri, investigated. They found 3-toed footprints nearly 17 inches long in the mud around the Ford's property. This wasn't a bear. This wasn't any known animal. The Fouke monster had a name, or rather, it was given one: the Fouke monster. The media descended, eager for a sensational story. But this wasn't just a media frenzy. The community genuinely feared for its safety. More sightings followed. People reported a large, hairy creature moving through the woods, crossing roads, and even approaching isolated homes. The descriptions were strikingly consistent: tall, dark, bipedal, and with a distinctive foul odor. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence came from tracker and hunter Smokey Crabtree. He spent days in the swamps, meticulously documenting evidence, including more footprints and what he believed to be strands of hair. But the hair samples, when eventually analyzed, proved inconclusive. Some suggested it was animal hair, others couldn't definitively identify it. This is a recurring frustration in cryptozoology. Compelling initial evidence often dissolves under scientific scrutiny. The Fouke monster sightings reached a peak in 1971 and 1972. The sheer volume of reports, the consistency of the descriptions, and the physical evidence, however fleeting, painted a picture of something truly anomalous. Then came the film. In 1972, Charles B. Pierce released The Legend of Boggy Creek, a docudrama shot on location featuring actual Fouke residents playing themselves and recounting their terrifying encounters. It was a sensation. The film blurred the lines between fact and fiction. While it amplified the legend, it also, for some, reduced the Fouke monster to a Hollywood monster, overshadowing the genuine terror and investigation that had preceded it. Yet, even after the movie, sightings continued, albeit less frequently. Was it mass hysteria fueled by the film? Or did the creature simply retreat deeper into the vast, untouched wilderness of the swamps, away from human encroachment? Skeptics argue the Fouke monster was a misidentification, perhaps a bear or an escaped ape. But the 3-toed footprints, the bipedal gait, the sheer size, and the consistent descriptions challenge these conventional explanations. Other theories suggest it was a hoax, a prank that got out of hand. But the extent of the damage, the multiple independent witnesses, and the enduring fear in the community make a simple hoax difficult to reconcile with the evidence. What if the Fouke monster represents an undiscovered primate, a relict hominoid, perfectly adapted to the bayou environment? The swamps of Arkansas are vast, dense, and largely unexplored. They could easily conceal a large, reclusive creature. The Fouke monster's story is a microcosm of the cryptid phenomenon itself. A flurry of intense sightings, compelling but often ambiguous evidence, followed by media saturation, and then a gradual fading into folklore. But for the residents of Fouke, Arkansas, it was never just a story. It was a tangible threat, a creature that emerged from the shadows and left an indelible mark on their collective memory. The fear was real, the encounters were real. To this day, every so often, a new report surfaces. A rustle in the woods, a strange howl in the night, a fleeting glimpse of something large and dark. The Fouke monster, whether myth or beast, continues to haunt the edges of the Arkansas wilderness. The Fouke monster reminds us that even in our modern, mapped world, there are still corners, still mysteries that defy easy explanation. Some legends, it seems, simply refuse to die. What other cryptids do you believe hold more truth than legend? Let us know in the comments.